We good? All right. It starts probably quicker than any machine I have. Ooh. Uh-oh. Made a liar out of me, didn't it? Hey guys, we're back. And it's been, I don't know, about a year, a little longer, probably what, 13, 14 months. I think we posted last August. Since the last update, we've only published one full-length video, even though we've got a huge backlog of projects and footage. My wife's been having some health issues that have made it hard for her to get through just the daily basics, let alone do any of the admin work that the business needs just to pay our bills.
Burgers.
I can't take more than cheeseburger.
So she hasn't been able to do any progress on any of the videos. Even though we've got some raw footage, we just haven't had the time to process that raw footage and make it into something that you guys can enjoy watching and not just kind of struggle through. We're back at it this week though, and we hope to have the next 1641 video posted soon after this one that we're recording right now. She's not the only one who's had health issues. I've had health issues as well. The whole household actually had COVID last month, and that was a wonderful experience that we hope to never have to go through again. But before that, earlier this year in the winter, well, late winter, early spring, it was March, I threw out my back in a way that I have never felt in my life. So I'm 43, and a lot of people say, oh, you look so young, you're not 43. Well, I am, and I've used my body extremely heavily over the last 20 years or so, and I'm paying for it now. I threw out my back, and I threw it out in a way that I've never thrown it out before. This happened in March. It was March 3rd. My soonest appointment to see a doctor was 6 weeks out from that injury, and I didn't even start physical therapy until May. When I got into that first batch of physical therapy, it became apparent, not in the beginning, but a little bit afterwards, that it wasn't working out. It wasn't really making things better, but I didn't know. I mean, this is all new to me. So I've been seeing a new physical therapist to try to help with the lower back stuff, and that has helped immensely. I started seeing them in August, and I'm making great progress. I'm regaining some strength and some mobility. And as a mechanic, especially a small engine outdoor power mechanic, you have to have a lot of core and lower body strength as well. I mean, all mechanics really need it. So, 6 months ago, I was kind of struggling. 6 to 8 months ago, I was kind of struggling just to bend like this at all. Now I can squat, I can bend, I can lift some things that are not too heavy. This is a small lawn and garden battery. Obviously, it only weighs maybe 10 pounds, not even that. But I couldn't do any of this stuff 6 months ago. I mean, it was not good. So we've been slow to get work done for the shop this summer, and the shop is what pays our bills. But that actually ended up working out well because our area of Ohio has experienced an extreme drought year. And so people weren't beating up the as much as they used to. And that allowed me to kind of catch up. I mean, we weren't making great money, but we were able to keep up with existing customers, which was it's better than having to constantly turn down work and burn bridges with other possible customers. You know what I mean? So it's a mixed batch of grateful and also, oh crap, what do we do? So the reason for shooting this video is to let you guys know that making repair videos and sharing the love of machines are the reasons why we started this project. So even though the repair business, working on customer machines has become our livelihood, we don't want to give up the reasons that we started doing this, which is very important to us. And as time has gone on, we've found that it's important to other people as well, and we don't want to give that up. So we're getting back into it. My wife's family bought her a new computer this summer for her birthday, which means that editing videos is a lot less stressful because there's a lot less computer crashing and rendering hours and all the things that go into using an antiquated piece of equipment to do modern things. So we've had a few people ask for ways to support us because we reach out through email and forums and other methods of communication just to help people out with either wiring or engine problems or transmission, like basically anything mechanically related to the outdoor power world. So now we've set up a donation link on our website through Square and Buy Me a Coffee, and then we've also launched a Patreon. So the perks range from early and ad-free videos to live streams, shirts, hats, and more. And there's a bunch of information there on the website. You guys can check that out if you're interested. We would obviously very much appreciate it. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, you can check it out at patreon.com/Soluna Garage. Our hope is, if this takes off, I'll stop repairing random machines.
Working on random people's machines.
Oh. Random machines and make restoration and revival content. All right. Here we are with the 1862. This is a not barn fresh, I'd call it like yard fresh, I guess. Let's see. Okay, clickies. That's good. Now it did increase it a little bit, so we're not at the 5 anymore. Let's check a 6. And we're a little loose on the 6 too. That would be my goal, and I would love to see that happen. We just need some help, that's all. Meanwhile, the projects that are just side projects that don't directly support our income as a family, I just don't have a lot of time for. It takes a lot of time and effort just to run a small business and support a family, let alone a YouTube channel with projects and support for those projects and all of the back end stuff that goes into making a YouTube channel actually fun and enjoyable for people. So, speaking of projects, now that we got all that out of the way, who wants to know what's going on with our projects? Oh, hey, we forgot to mention that one of the big things that we were doing this year, especially over the last 4 or 5 months, something like that, is providing custom wiring harnesses for Cub Cadets for various different reasons. And this is something that I've gravitated to as a mechanic. The electrical side of things has always been interesting to me, and I've always had a passion. Not always. Initially, I was kind of scared of electrical, and because it was an unknown thing. But as I learned more about it, I became passionate about it in automotive fields and in the hydraulic and industrial fields, and then finally into the world of garden tractors. And so we're starting to develop a website with a lot of different harnesses for people to solve common problems and to give people the option to perform engine swaps and stuff much easier. And I'm really excited about that. And I totally forgot to say anything about it. So let's take a look at some of the harnesses that we're working on now. And we're totally open to building anything custom too. And in fact, I think one of the great things would be if we got into doing custom harnesses in general for the garden tractor world. It'd be great. I love doing electrical, and I love helping people with electrical problems. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the stuff that we're doing. This is one of the harnesses that we've developed to help support the engine swap community in the garden tractor world. This is the KT17 Kohler to M18 Kohler swap harness. So basically this one side connects to your new engine, your M18. This other side connects to your KT17. And then here we've provided a circuit for the oil pressure switch indicator. And it comes with an automotive grade sealed relay. And this entire kit basically just bolts in with one bolt and then plugs in with two connectors and you're done. So no cutting of factory wires, no trying to figure out which circuit is which. Occasionally, sometimes people will actually mess this up and they will put a hot feed into the magneto or the ignition coils, and they'll burn up the ignition coils when they make this swap. So this solves a couple different problems, and this is a good example of a small harness that we do. All of the harnesses come with instructions. They come with our business card and a fridge magnet and a sticker. And then one of the big things that we like to do is make sure that we have really good documentation for this stuff, because support is a huge part of what we do in general. We're in the garden tractor community. We like to support the garden tractor community and, support our customers in general. It's not just there. I mean, it's in the shop too. We like to educate people on what they're doing and why they're doing it and that kind of thing. So here's, the KT17's got pictures. It's got descriptions of what to do step by step all the way through. And this comes with every harness that we provide, no matter how simple it is. So even as a harness as simple as this one will come with instructions, and there's a clicky starter fix even that is simpler than this, and it comes with instructions. So even if it's plug and play for the most part, it still comes with instructions. So here is an example of two other harnesses that we've got. This one is the puller/recreational complete harness. This one here is for a command swap on somebody who's doing something that's not using a PTO or any of the lighting circuits or any of the safety circuits. This one's kind of cool. It's like a bare bones harness. So we have descriptions of what the harness is and what it does on this page. And then it tells you what each kit includes here. It will give you recommended tools. And then there's links to installation instructions. So you can click on this with your phone and blink, you just go to the videos. So we've actually shot pictures and videos of all the steps for every single harness. It's extremely time consuming, but I think this is very important to note, because I think that one of the worst things to do is get something that's custom, that was built for you by somebody, and not understand how it's really supposed to work. And wiring is a very confusing thing for a lot of people. So we've got pictures. Here's another video link here. More pictures. We have all of our wires are tagged with the function for that specific circuit. So you can see that in these pictures here. And again, more videos of this step. So you can see, watch a video for this step. And then you've got, what do you do for the starter solenoid? What do you do for the main battery posts? And that's pretty exemplary of what an instructional sheet looks like. here's another one. This one is the M18 to command swap for the Cyclops tractors. We have two versions of this harness right now. There's one for the Cyclops, and then there's also one for the 82 series. Again, we've got a pretty lengthy description of what it is and what it would include. And then installation instructions start here. You got descriptions of every type of harness that you can get. These have variations of the type of harnesses that you can get. The command swap harnesses, based on your budget and your needs, can be supplied with just the adapter cable. They can be supplied without the battery cable, which is this guy. We make a custom battery cable for him. We supply the full kit with the battery cable, and that full kit also includes the Clicky starter fix, which is a huge problem on a lot of the Kohler commands that are in some of these tractors. Again, here's more videos of the steps that you're going through, and then pictures of what to do. Here we are with the command swap harness for Cyclops Cub Cadets. If you're swapping from an M18 to a Kohler Command Twin, this will be the kit for you. Today we're going to show how to install the M18 to command swap harness with Clicky starter fix and battery cable for the Cyclops generation of Cub Cadet. So tractors that look like this. So we spent a lot of time making sure that these would be as user-friendly as possible, and we provide support not only with this documentation but also afterwards. So we're really excited about this, and we hope that we can continue to do it. So one of the things that I like to talk about when it comes to the harnesses is the fact that we use a lot of the factory connectors. These aren't off-brand connectors. These are actual Delphi Packard 56 series connectors, and then also 56 series terminals. So here's the female, there's the male, and we're using sealed components wherever we can. So this relay here, you can see, is actually sealed right here. I mean, this is better than what they use at the factory. I mean, a lot of the relays they use from the factory are not sealed in this way. And then the cool thing about this too is that the relay is replaced separate from the connector. So if the relay ever fails, you don't have to change any of the wiring. You don't have to touch anything that we have provided. All you gotta do is put a new relay in. Sealed components, in my opinion, are just the way to go. Same thing with the fuse holders and stuff that we supply. Unlike a lot of the factory fuse holders, these are actually sealed so that you don't get dirt and crap and corrosion down inside the fuse. And then to make all of this happen, you've got to buy tools, and so we've got the factory Delphi crimper here that we use for all the Delphi connections. This dude here is not cheap. I think this thing was like $130 or something like that. So a lot goes into building these harnesses, and we want to make them right. We're not just trying to, get a couple of them out the door. We want these to work not just for a year. We want them to work for, decades. So that's what we're trying to do. These are the same types of fixes and repairs I would do on the channel, and the same stuff I would do to my own tractor, and I wouldn't change anything for anyone else. So I hope that works out for you guys. Let us know if you have any custom harness requests. We also do full harnesses. So this here is a full chassis harness from a 782, I believe, or something similar. And this one's going to get some modifications. It's not going to be completely factory, so we can kind of blend the line between factory and what you're doing. So this one, I think, is going to get an M18 engine, but it came with a KT17. But the entire harness also needs replaced. So all of this, yeah. Anything harness related, let us know. We would love to do it. So, thanks.
So when we recorded all of the video originally, he had on a mic thing, you may have noticed. And we didn't think to have him take it off before he did the cold starts. And they sound like shit. You're about to hear it. It's bad. So anyway, we are re-recording all the cold starts. He's not going to talk about all the machines again. He's just going to start them again so you can actually hear what they sound like, because that's the whole point, right? But we'll just mix it in with the shitty starts. Sorry.
All right, let's start with our projects. We'll start chronologically with what's going on here. This next to me right here is the 1882. This project started in 2020, right? Yeah. This project started in 2020 as a restoration project that happened right at the beginning of COVID. And right before COVID started. So this guy's still sitting here waiting to be cleaned up and restored to its former glory. We rebuilt the M18. That's our M18 series that you'll see on YouTube. That's for this tractor. We're not giving up. It's still here. In front of it is a 2182. And I think you guys have seen some stuff on this one, but I'm not entirely sure because I can't really keep track of what we have out there and what we don't anyway. This has the 3-cylinder liquid-cooled Kubota gas engine. It's basically the diesel. It's just gas-powered, different intake, different head. This thing's going to be a sweet runner, and this one we'll probably keep. The 1882, we would love to make a loader tractor out of that one, a loader and a backhoe. We need that kind of equipment here, and I would love to make one out of it. (1882) needs basic restoration services. 2182 needs a whole rear end rebuilt. We had a short video on this in the spring, right before I threw my back out. I think it was actually like 2 weeks before I threw my back out. I did a video on this tractor showing the rear end being all sloppy and weird. This one needs a whole rear end. It's pooched. Done. This guy is Jordy. Jordy is our lovely 2166 with bigger tires and wheels. It's got the front plow on it and the tiller on it right now. We're going to just start it up real quick. This guy has not been used at all this year. It's got a good battery, but otherwise, yeah. All right, boy. So there's our 2166 with the head work that we did on the Command and all the stuff we did on that Command engine. Single cylinder, great tractor, super reliable. Just haven't used it at all this year. All right, we specialize in Cub Cadets and Lawn Boy, and we don't show Lawn Boys very much, but we restored one extra one this year in addition to the other two that we already have. So we posted a short where we picked up like 20 some Lawn Boys this year. All right, here we are with the Lawn Boy Motherload. We just picked these up the other day. I've been looking for something like this for a very long time. We've got some D-Series engines in here. Most of these are complete. There's only one 4-stroke. Everything else is 2-stroke. So we've got C-Series units, lots of F-Series units, and quite a few Duraforces. As I said, most of them are complete. Most of the engines are not locked up. Over here, we got some more Duraforce units. We've got some miscellaneous bagger attachments and a lot of other miscellaneous parts. And over in the cab of the truck, we've got some more assorted parts. There's bagger assemblies, discharge chutes, and I think what looks to be a basically brand new or maybe new old stock or rebuilt F-Series engine. Super excited. And I was super excited about it. I was like, yes, I get to rebuild some Lawn Boys. This is gonna be sweet. I've always wanted like the Lawn Boy junkyard basically, and we were both like, yeah, let's do it. And then I threw my back out and I couldn't do any of it. But right before, maybe during even my COVID bout, I rebuilt one of them. And so this is the one that we rebuilt recently. It's this guy. So this is I don't even know what model it is. I don't even remember. Well, I don't know. It's old. And it runs fantastically. This thing has been sitting out for I don't know how many decades. The carb was shot. The fuel tank was full of goo. Basically, we just gave it some love and it came back to life. So now we've got another sweet little push mower. I'd like to show this one starting if I can. All right, we got the fuel turned on. I think so. Yeah, fuel's turned on. All right, let's see if it'll start. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh yeah, that's an old D-Series engine right there. That's nice. This is probably late 60s, early 70s. So that thing's 50 years old at least. It's probably closer to 60 years old. Here is our venerable 1250 Cub. He's the logo on the channel. This is the Cub that kind of started. It's also my wife's reminding me, hey, yeah, it's also on the shirt. Yeah, it's this guy right here. He's just old, reliable, used for the hydraulic lifts. We pushed around a bunch of stuff this year with it too. It also pulls dead machines around. So basically this thing's just kind of getting abused right now. It gets used once in a while, only when it's needed and it gets used hard. So let's fire it up and just see how it does. It starts probably quicker than any machine I have. Ooh. Uh-oh. Made a liar out of me, didn't it? Oh, was it PTO? No, it wouldn't have been PTO or it wouldn't have cranked. Okay, so I either come back out here and we hook a jump pack to it. This dude is the one that we got probably 7 or 8 years ago and kind of started the channel by itself. So this one is basically just kind of used as a mule. It picks up equipment that's dead, it moves it around, and this one is basically just a grunt worker. So let's hear, this is a single cylinder K-Series Kohler 12 horse. hydraulic lift. We've got an engine behind it right now. That is a Briggs Vanguard engine that's out of the 1641. So the video that you guys will see about the 1641, spoiler alert, that's the engine from it. Uh-oh. It's not in the tractor anymore. I don't know what that means. Let's turn off that the PTO bearing is kind of pooched. There we go. Here we have a 2186. This is the most recent Saluna Garage pickup that we got. We picked up this guy for $100. You know, I think we did a short video on this, and this hadn't run in 2 years. It was full of wasps, full of oil and debris, and then we finally got it to run. It had an electrical problem as well. Threw a starter on it, got it to run, and then realized it just consumes oil like it's going out of style. So as you can see, no engine, it is gone. We are rebuilding the command in this right here. What we do with that command is still kind of up for debate at this point. We have a customer who may need that engine to repair their tractor, and that's more important to me than, you know, doing another restoration. But if they don't need it for their tractor, it could go back in this guy, it could go back in another tractor over there. We don't know yet. It's still a nice machine, not very many hours on it, and it's worth saving. So if anybody needs parts for this series of tractor, let us know, because we could just, you know, part it out. But we could also restore it for somebody. So this is a Cub 1440. We picked this one up not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. Between this 1440 and another tractor, we will have the rear end components to rebuild the 2182 that is in the shed. The 2182 is a super garden tractor, and it's got all the goodies. And one of these tractors, either the 1641 that's down there that you can't see here, or this 1440, is going to have all of the guts that we need to make that one, to make the 2182 possible again. But I couldn't help making sure that the thing runs, and it makes it a lot easier to actually move around when they actually run and move. You don't have to push them around, sling them around. So this has the 14 horse Briggs Vanguard. This has a 48-inch deck, which is actually not the deck that should be on this tractor. I think they came with a 42 and a 44 and maybe a 46, but not a 48. So this is a pretty big deck for a small engine on a tractor, but this thing actually runs pretty well. And I think what we'll probably do with this one is we'll rebuild the engine and then take the rest of the guts out of it and help something else. So let's hear it run. 14 horse Briggs Vanguard. Yeah, that was a cold start, actually. That thing fired right up.
They all have been cold starts. I don't know why you said that.
Because it was surprised. It started quicker than any of the other ones. I mean, it like boom, it was there. Like all the other ones were like crank, 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 start, crank, 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 start, crank, 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 start. This one was just like bing.
It loves you. What a response.
Here we have a 782. This is the first project that we actually picked up this year that was new after my back injury and all of the other stuff that was going on. This one was local. It was probably 15, 20 minutes down the road, and it was a complete basket case. The engine came disassembled. It was still bolted to the tractor, but it was disassembled. We've got a short video playlist for what we did to this tractor. And here we have the 782 frame. hoist it up in the air so we can clean it properly, and it's looking pretty good. It's not perfect yet, but it doesn't really need to be perfect. It's not a restoration. We're just kind of reviving the guy. It's not like we're taking everything apart, but yeah, we got stuff pretty well cleaned down in through there. You know, there's definitely some stuff where there's going to be residual areas of goo, but this looks pretty good and looks way better than it did before. So I think we're going to roll with that. So we'll let this dry off and then we'll get it into the shop and start prepping the other components to get ready to go back in as well. There's a lot of cleanup to do. What we basically did to this tractor is we pulled the engine and resealed it, re-ringed it, put it back together, and then we installed a super steer axle on this tractor. So there's an upgrade to the steering system as well. And then we did some modifications to the deck, a couple things to the gauges, and then basically service the tractor front to back. So now this thing is a running, driving, functional unit again after being a complete basket case not even a couple months ago. So this has the Kohler Twin Series 2 engine, and yeah, let's just hear it run. Oh yeah, a little smoke. Okay. All right, so this tractor is an 1862 Cub Cadet, and any viewers of the channel should feel free to slap me if I ever decide to sell this machine, because this is power steering and the Kohler Magnum 18 horse, which is, you know, basically my favorite engine. We did a video series on the Magnum 18. This tractor we picked up last year, actually about this time last year. I think it was September, October last year. It was a non-running tractor. It sat in dirt and filth for God knows how many years. And then we brought it back home. We got it to run and drive off of the trailer. And surprisingly, the engine has not been pulled in this one. The engine is still in its original condition. We just did a couple things externally to make sure it was okay. It still runs and drives great. We did one upgrade. We swapped the front axle, so the front axle is now a super steer front axle. This was an earlier production model that didn't have the new front axle design, but this one does now. We swapped in a newer front axle, and it has the 50-inch deck. So, but the power steering is what really makes this thing unique and cool. Not all of them have it, and this one does. So let's hear the old Magnum start. We all know what a Magnum sounds like, but let's do it anyway. I mean, it runs fantastic. I cannot believe that this machine I cannot believe that this machine was just left for dead. There's so much life left in it. I'm glad we saved it. On the list of projects, we have a 1641. So we are also working on a 1641 video series for you guys. This is another 1641 that we picked up that was not necessarily local, but was close. This was about an hour away. This dude did not run, flat tires. The primary reason it didn't run was electrical issues. On the Cyclops tractors, there are a lot of electrical issues, most of them down in this area here. So once we fix those electrical issues, the thing just popped back to life. I mean, the engine runs really well. Again, the same thing as what happened with the 1440. It couldn't be helped but to at least see what the engine condition was and make sure the thing could move and drive, even though it couldn't when we picked it up. And it does run pretty well. So it's between this tractor and the 1440 to decide which tractor gets pulled for parts and which one becomes a usable tractor again. There are some issues though. There have been some previous owner fixes, and we're going to have to address some of those issues. So, but the engine actually does run pretty well. It doesn't use very much oil, so we'll see. In typical Briggs Vanguard fashion, both the 1641 and the 1440 both have tons of oil issues. Like when the Briggs get to a certain age, they just start leaking oil from a little bit from everywhere, basically. They just start kind of like bleh. So they both kind of just need a full rebuild. This guy here is just a project at this point. We don't have a specific goal for this one yet. However, it's a really nice tractor. It would make someone a fantastic machine that would probably last their lifetime. And so we're going to do something with it. We're just not sure what we're going to do yet. So let's fire it up. We hear it run. This is a 16 horse Briggs Vanguard. Like butter. So next on the list of Saluna Garage junk is this golf cart. We got this thing running a year or so ago, and the customer declined repairs on it, and then we settled up with the customer, and we ended up with a junk golf cart, which served our purposes for just putting around the yard, just helping out the chickens and stuff, and getting stuff from the end of the driveway, until this year, where our 17-year-old son had a party and his friends decided to joyride it, which was totally fine. We were on board with it. But the marginal primary clutch and secondary clutch housings did not have good things to say about that. And
was not enough margin.
One of them decided to completely shit the bed. It's gone. So this has no secondary clutch housing at all. It's basically like, it's just gone. There was a big chunk of aluminum sitting in the back there. So right now, all it does is it has a good battery. We put a solar charger up on top to keep the battery charged, so we didn't have to buy a battery when we finally had the money to replace the clutch parts. But that's all you get. That's all you get. I even drained the gas out of it because I didn't want to be having stanky gas in it. I knew it was going to sit. My back was thrown out. I was like, when is the golf cart going to get fixed? Who knows? It's not a priority. We do have the parts for it. We finally gathered up enough cash to get the parts for it. Just got to fix it. So there it is. Last on the list for 2024 is the Ford 8N 1950. This guy, alongside the 1250, are probably one of the oldest machines we have on the channel. This guy came in non-running as well. We fixed the governor. which was the major problem. The governor gear, when somebody installed the governor, they put a long bolt in one of the wrong areas on the governor and cracked the front timing cover. So common problem and a common mistake to make on these tractors, but it was not running when we got it. We fixed the governor, we fixed the oil pump, we fixed the front axle, we fixed the cam gear, a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, the tractor runs great, except for the fact that it burns way too much oil. It's a, add some oil and check the gas machine. Right now, the problem that this machine has is that the rear lift is getting severely anemic. It just will not hold a load at all unless there's full hydraulic pressure lifting it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the tractor, and then I'll lift the lift up, and you'll see it'll lift up, but as soon as I shut the tractor off, that lift just, it goes right to the ground, even if the valve is in the up position, which it shouldn't do. It shouldn't just bypass the valve entirely when it's, when the engine's not running. So, but we'll start it, we'll show it running, and then we'll go from there. Good? Starties, fuels. Yep. All right. Arise. Fall. There. Yes. There is no reason I would want a 5-foot brush hog lifted off the ground. Of course. Why would I want it off the ground? There you go. So we got to fix that too. Welcome back.
The birds are going to sleep. The sun is going down. Justin is tired. Boggart is tired. Where's Kiertings? Where's Kiertings? What do you want, Kitting? Do you want pool time? Do you want to do pool?
Oh, he's so happy.
About to be even happier.
Kidding.
You don't get him. You don't get him. Get him. Oh, get him. Oh, get him. That's good. Oh, give him. Oh, get him, kid.
You don't get that ball.
You don't get that ball. Oh, get him. Y'all fucking kidding. Y'all fucking trues. Yeah, get him. Oh, get him. Oh, get him. Get him. Oh, fucking true. Oh, Oh, no, fucking truth. Oh, get him.